Hello, and welcome to the show. My name is Kyron Mountain. We're talking AYA Air today, hey?
Yep.
We got Dominator on the line. How are you doing, Dominator? He's over here.
Great.
This
well, except my Neo's dead, but we could talk about that later.
What happened to your Neo?
I have no idea. I just tried to power it on one day, and it did not. I also heard someone else in the Discord had the same issue with their AYANEO Next, so I don't even think it's my fault at this point. It's apparently like the third or fourth reported case.
Does it work when it's plugged in?
No, it doesn't work at all.
Weird.
Yeah.
Maybe disconnect the battery, open her up, disconnect the battery, let it sit overnight, and then try again. That would be my only suggestion.
Okay.
TedOfGarlic is also on the line. How are you, sir?
I'm doing really good. I just ate some food, so I'm.
What'd you have? What'd you have for eating?
Oh, it was like some like a fish, like think of a stuffed fish, but like deconstructed, so that the stuffing is like on top of the fish, kind of like a casserole, maybe.
So kind of like when they take all the scoopings out of the potato and then they mash it up and they rebake it or something. Is that what it's called? A rebake?
Yeah.
So something like that kind of
twice baked. Yeah.
Twice baked. Is that like that with a fish though?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Think of like a Thanksgiving stuffing. I know you Canadians have like some
we
other
have those.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
You ever had a turducken?
No, I feel like that's a crime against God.
I've never touched. I wouldn't touch a turducken, to be honest. Sounds like a waste. Yeah. But we're here to talk about the AYA Air. We finally know that the event is coming down, as Ted put it earlier, way too early in the morning. What time is it going to be for you?
That's 7:30 for me. So.
And then Dominator, that's going to be
earlier than I'm ever up.
4:30 for you, right?
It's at 4:30 a.m. Yeah, there's no way in hell I'm waking up for this.
Well, I'll be awake.
You have to.
I'll be awake.
We're waking up for it. What? It's on a Sunday too?
No, it's Friday.
28th. Oh wow. Okay.
Isn't that a Friday? Oh no, you're right. That's a Saturday. You're right. That's a Saturday.
Actually, not.
No one was right.
Maybe I might be able to wake up in the morning. Traveling and stuff, so maybe time zones are different, might line up, but I don't think I'm gonna wake up any earlier to see this.
Well, I'll be up live. If you guys are watching it live, head over to the Game Smarter channel or check out the TedOfGarlic channel. We'll be live probably on one of those two.
Yeah,
maybe Dominator may or may not be with us.
Yeah. Something to think about.
I want to talk about this before we talk about specs and everything. What's happening right now over in China is that they're doing what's called a blind sale. And speaking to Arthur in the Arthur in the Discord, he wanted to do something like this, or he thought about doing something like this over here. But I guess because of different countries' legal systems and the way sales work in those places, you can't sell a secret item. To other places in different countries, but you can do it in China. So he's taking advantage of that and doing these secret blind bookings where people don't know exactly what they're getting. They're getting an AYA Air. They know that, but they don't know what an AYA Air is. It could be a loaf of bread for all they know.
It's a good thing that they're offering refunds, instant refunds.
Oh, they are offering refunds too. That's even better then. So it's like zero risk for people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fantastic. So the only bad news that's happened because of that is we were supposed to, what is this, today is the 21st? The press event was supposed to already have happened. We're already supposed to be booking them from the rumors that we were hearing. But because these Chinese blind sales are going so well, Arthur had to push it back. So now we're pushing it back till Saturday the 28th, literally basically the end of the month. He couldn't push it back much further, right?
Yeah. Otherwise it'd be in June.
All right, so that's the big news that you'll probably be able to book yours on the 28th. After the event happens, head over to the AYANEO store, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's pre-order set up. But you guys want to talk about...
Oh, wait. We were actually... There's something else we need to discuss. So apparently these blind orders are going so well that it will delay shipping for our orders, even though we might be able to book them right after the press conference on the 28th. I guess
that's what I should have clarified, hey? Yeah, so that means that not necessarily we're going to be getting them in June or July. We might be getting them in August or September instead.
That's something to keep in mind.
All right, let's jump over to the specs. Now, I want to take this with a grain of salt. I've seen people share this. I've grabbed a screenshot. It's really, really tiny here. I know. We're going to talk about it. Reading off the screen here, we don't know if this is actual Geekbench scores. They could be fake. People can fake them.
I sent you a link to that, which was shared on the Discord.
Still doesn't mean that it's the real thing. It still could be faked. It still could be Like, I mean, I'm just saying we're just going off of this.
Grain
I
of
don't
salt,
want to.
grain of salt.
Yeah, exactly. I want to say, you know, based off of this, the only thing that really, when I first saw this, that jumped out at me was a screenshot I saw had one view. Where now, by the time I clicked the link that Dominator gave me, we got 89 views. So it's still there. It's still been up. No one's taken it down, and it's accessible on the internet, which gives it a lot more credibility in my books.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's talk specs then.
Mm.
AMD Ryzen 5, a 5560U.
Yep.
Looking at the
That's a-
Go ahead.
This is a bit of an interesting SKU that we got here. It's like the 5600U, but with a cut down cache, it seems, which might hurt its ability to play games. Might. Seems kind of normal besides that, though. It seems pretty capable, besides the cache, which might be an issue for running some games that are more CPU dependent.
Yeah, it does have like half the cache.
Yeah.
Which is like an interesting choice, you know, considering they have like the same power usage.
This might be a cut down SKU meant for not necessarily like even gaming, maybe just like cheaper thin and light ultrabooks.
Well, I'm going to compare it real quick here. I just pulled up the AYANEO Founders Geekbench score, and we're looking at a single core score of only 1052 and a multi-score of 4173. Now, the base frequency is a little bit higher on the Founders, but like you guys said, this is a newer chip. It's going to be more efficient.
Zen 3 over Zen 2.
It looks like it has the same size of RAM, so the test is completely the same in that regards.
Oh yeah, the RAM is completely the same between the two. There's basically no difference.
Which is a little bit disappointing. I kind of wanted 16 gigs of RAM. I don't know why 16 makes me feel better.
There is 16 gigabytes of RAM, but it's divided between the VRAM and the regular system memory. The bad thing is the maximum amount allocated is only 3 gigabytes, like all the other times. That's pretty annoying that they still haven't allowed us to change to 4 gigabytes, because more games are needing, more memory for textures and such. Hopefully that's something that will be corrected in the future.
I don't think I'm worried about that, though.
Yeah.
Is that the resolutions we're going to be running at?
Yeah, that's true, but most devs don't really optimize their games now.
They don't.
Yeah, we know that with Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's one of the worst offenders. But anyways, I'm kind of worried about the ability to overclock these Ryzen chips. I know that's not something everyone will do, but it kind of hurts the adjustability.
I don't think anyone is
except
doing
for
that.
Dominator will be
except you.
Well, I've heard about a couple of people doing it.
I guess for the everyday user, though, I think this is nothing but a win. We're looking at the lineup here next to the AYA Air Geekbench score, and you've got your GPD Win and your PS Vita right there on the top. You got your Steam Deck, your One X player on the bottom, and then you can see where the Air comes in. It comes in just under 400 grams, which means technically, if we're sorting these by weight, I guess this is not sorted by weight, is it? Because you look at how much that Win 3 weighs, man. It's a brick.
It doesn't look like it's accurately weighted. I think it's weighted on size.
Yeah, no, this is definitely sorted by size.
Mm-hmm.
But
you can see here, this is pretty interesting. It should be able to match the size of or be smaller than the Switch V2. Is that what I see over there? Switch?
Yeah, the OLED Switch.
Oh, no. I'm looking at the one above it.
Oh, you mean looking at it weight-wise?
Yeah, I think that says 398. I can't really
398, that's what it says.
Yeah, so this could definitely match it. Or go even smaller, be like the size of the GPD XP.
For the size and the weight that it is, that's it's a considerable amount of power.
Oh, it's a very considerable amount of power. I couldn't agree more.
I'm a little bit worried about the screen size, though. That's one of the things that's giving me pause.
What's wrong about the screen size? It's the same size screen that's going to be on the Switch Lite.
Yeah, but I went and demoed Switch Lite at GameStop, and I can imagine, it might be a bit of an adjustment because I've been getting used to bigger and bigger handhelds now.
What is the size on that Win 3?
They're the exact same screen size.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, just the bezels make it look.
Can I see the thickness of the Win 3 as well? Oh wow, it's a chunky boy.
It's a very chunky boy.
But it helps that it has the keyboard.
It has a slide.
Yeah, Neo Slide, which I do plan on perhaps getting instead of an Air.
Actually, we should mention that people who are wondering what's the difference between the Slide and the Air and the Neo 2, not talking about the Neo 2 because it's going to be the same size as like a regular AYANEO, but the Slide, we've now confirmed that it's... Pardon me?
It's the size of a Steam Deck.
It's actually closer to the size of the Next. It's in between the Next and the One X
I'm just
player.
looking at what we got shown at the prototype. But then again, they're totally redefining it, so maybe this conversation will be completely outdated.
Are they redesigning it? Did they listen to us?
So bad they had to redesign it.
Well, we'll see if that happens. But I think the thing people need to realize that the Aya Air and the AYANEO Slide are actually going to be very roughly the same size. Like if we were to pop in, where's my mouse? If we were to pop in, it would probably be in between the Odin and maybe like it would be around here is where we would be popping the Slide. In a size
it should just be thicker than the Air.
Yes.
It needs to be a more comfortable size for, people using the keyboard to really make sense. And also, it's only a 6-inch LCD screen, 1080p. So, presuming it's bezel-less.
It's bezel-less is what we've seen, right?
Yeah, it would exactly match up. Yeah. Yeah, that should...
The only thing I'm worried about, if we're talking about worry...
Okay, what are we worried about? What are we watching for on Saturday?
The Air is so thin, right? I'm very interested in what the cooling solution is going to be like on that. Because the Aya has a great, it works very well for what it is, but we're going thinner.
Because of the TDP limit being hard set to 15 watt. But that might be due to something else that I'm even more worried about, the battery capacity. It's rumored, so have a grain of salt. But it would make a lot of sense if gameplay was limited to 1 hour at 15 watt and only 2 hours at 8 watts. So that's a lot to worry about there. We don't want to be constantly, holding around power banks and everything.
Agreed. And talking about the fan here, I wanted to pull up this photo specifically because we've seen the black models with the purple and blue shoulder buttons. This guy doesn't have the purple or blue shoulder buttons. If you notice, they're silver. Yeah. So is there going to be a limited edition run or Martha's already said there's going to be different colors. But the reason I bring up this photo is for Ted's complaint or Ted's concern. Do you see how big that fan panel is on the back?
Yeah, it's huge.
Well, it should be good for the cooling solution. And also something that I noticed was the passive cooling on the dock. That might be there to allow us to maybe have it constantly set at 15 watt or go even higher, I hope, to like 25 watts. That would be which is the AMD stated max.
That would be great. From photos that people were wanting to see the inside of the actual device, I don't have the photo. I couldn't find it. But Arthur ended up taking the actual posted it where it was showing how much of that back is the fan, and Ted, it's basically the whole back there. That square is a fan, and then the exhaust goes straight up. I don't think we're going to be worried about cooling such a small little unit unless you're going to block your fan somehow. But what I think I already like about the design is that in the past with these guys, with GPD, it lays so flat that fan can easily get, like, if I set it on my mouse pad, it'll suffocate it and then it'll overheat. And then these with the grips and everything, we're not going to have that problem.
That's fair, but I'm a little bit worried because my experience with my Neo 2021 was very different in terms of cooling, as in it constantly got hot.
Not to be a dick, but you're also the guy saying you've been overclocking your Aya. So I wonder why.
Even when I was running at more reasonable.
Reasonable? What's reasonable?
Because that's reasonable.
Like 10 watt and under.
Oh, okay.
I would notice that I got like kind of toasty. Not as hot as, then again, running at 25 watts like I've also been doing.
I would love to take like a survey of people using the Aya Air, AYANEO, all the different Ayas, and how many people actually changed their TDP or were changing their TDPs before Aya Space came out. Because I know I would, but I never really did. And then now that Aya Space is out, I would just set it and forget it and play it whatever it was at, as long as it ran the games.
I heard of a lot of people using other external tools, like Power Control Panel, which is...
Is that what you would use? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I use. Also, AMD APU tuning utility and Renar mobile tuning, which is more of a development tool than anything else. But there's a few options. So basically, Arthur is saying here that the AYANEO Air is not meant for AAA gaming, which is an interesting take. You would think that he would try and market for everything.
I'm going to disagree here. I think there's something here that's just being lost in translation. He's not saying that he's not designing it for the Air for AAA games, because let's be honest here, this thing's going to be able to play AAA games that my Aya Founders isn't going to be able to play.
Here's the thing, though. He also said the same thing on this Weeaboo, which is actually a different message from what he's supposed to hear on Discord. But it seems this is a consistent thing that he's thinking. And one of the pictures he sent me was, that people should be using next for AAA games like Elden Ring.
Right.
And other, yeah. So, the consistency of what he's seeing is definitely there, and that's where they're leaning, I guess, for indie games. Which I don't know how they plan to be so successful in that, considering Android and Switch plays all the indie games now. So it's an interesting.
I think what he's trying to say here is that he's made 3 different categories for his Aya devices, the AYANEO devices. And what he's saying is that the Air it's not designed here to get you the ultimate desktop experience on the go. It's to get you in. It's to get you into the world of handheld PCs. It's priced competitively like a Steam Deck, and it's going to help you get in. If you want to go all in, then you're going to have to go all in with something like the Next or the Neo 2 when it comes out.
Yeah.
And then did we get the price on the Air?
So they're selling it right now with the blind box for $650 American is what the blind.
And they're also offering $50 rebates.
So I don't know if that means that we're going to be able to get them for $650 American ourselves, considering we're going to know the specs by the time it goes on sale. So we expect a little bit more than maybe $650. Yeah, I would assume.
Also, they confirmed that prices will be higher internationally due to fees.
I don't.
We got to remember that the Air is not here to replace the Aya Neo 2021.
It's going to for me, though.
Well, actually,
I hope it does,
because I don't think the 4000 lineup of APUs are even being produced anymore by AMD. They'll probably be cut off at some point in the following few months.
Yeah, but in the line of Aya Neo products, right?
Yes.
The Air's like it's at the bottom of the stack, if you will.
Arthur,
right?
I think Arthur has gone to say that he doesn't expect the Air to be someone's only device. Like if they're going to buy an Air, they already have something else as well, kind of thing.
Actually, I was pretty sure that I saw something else that said the exact opposite from him.
Okay.
That was a message from a while ago, though. Shame I don't have that linked up on here, but I could probably send it to you after the show. I'll take a look at that.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
He demoed Dirt 2 loading from a SD card, and apparently the loading times are faster from an SD card than they are using a Steam Deck.
Yeah, so what he was saying was that the Steam Deck's SD card seems to load games slower than the SD card on the Aya Air.
Do we have a full-size SD card slot or a micro?
Micro, my friend, micro.
But they run at the same speeds. There's no difference between.
I think you just want a micro nowadays, anyways, don't you? Do you really want a full-size SD card?
Think they make full-size SD cards in the speeds that they have with micro SD anymore, because I guess the full-size SD cards are meant for budget devices. So probably something to do with it.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Looks like the max speed of a SD card is about 90 megabits per second. So that's
pretty high, depending on which UHS class it's on. I'm thinking this will be limited to UHS 1, so yes, something like 100 megabytes per second should be reasonable. It's something to keep in mind, though. I'm thinking it's probably faster here just because of the file system used. It's not using something like ext4 on Linux. It's using something probably like NTFS, which offers faster loading times. But it also means you can't swap out the SD cards as easily. You'll need to shut down the system first.
All right, so last thoughts here on the Aya Air. It's got a fingerprint reader, is what we're hoping for. That's what that power button is. It's got volume rockers on the top. You're getting all your buttons. I don't think it has any macro buttons on the back if we're looking at that.
It does have RGB.
RGB on the sticks?
Oh, it's
gotta have RGB.
It's everywhere on the controller.
Everywhere
I
on the
think only
controller is
buttons that
RGB?
don't- Yeah, I think the only buttons that don't have it are the start select and other Xbox
Okay,
buttons.
well, you heard it from Dominator. There you go. We also have 4 sets of buttons extra. We have start select on the left side, and then this is important for me. You got your AYA button and your Xbox button on the right. Is what it looks like. Anything else? The fan looks like it's going to be huge. It's not going to be blocked by your fingers either, but you might feel that fan when you're playing your game. Maybe your right hand gets sweatier than your left hand. I don't know.
Yeah.
Guys, any other last thoughts about how tiny this bad boy is and how ready you are to see where AMOLED handheld PC gaming is going?
Well, I guess the distance from the screen to people's eyes, like right there, showed how tiny that screen is. You might have to zoom in when reading text. That's something to worry
But
about.
that's the thing you got to remember. It's supposed to have a 1080p screen.
Yeah, that is true.
That's what I'm looking forward to is the 1080p screen. The Steam Deck's
will
an
be
800p screen. The AYA Founders is an 800p screen. The Nex is an 800p screen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 800p is just a bad resolution. It needs to go. Honestly, it caused so many issues with older games. It's not very good at all.
Ted, you sitting there, you're thinking, what do you got?
I just think 1080p OLED at 5.5 inches. That's going to be very sharp.
Yes.
You know, good colors, good blacks. Yeah.
But also, it makes running games at 540p a lot easier. 600, because you could use FSR on it. It
Exactly.
would be super sharp.
Hang on, I got
Yeah. Well, we need to see more. We need to see the conference on what is Saturday?
Saturday, guys.
Right?
We'll catch you for the conference then.
Yeah.
So we'll do.
Until then, go play something. Preferably handheld. Just saying.
Yeah. Play it in your hands.
Yeah.
Okay. No desks.
Use your hands.
Even use your phone. Y'all have phones, right?